What is the difference between $500 copywriting and $5,000 copywriting? Well, spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with the copywriting. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you how I went from charging a couple $100s for my copywriting to multiple thousands of dollars plus commission for my copywriting. But before we dive into the video, I have a gift for you. I wanna give you Copywriting Catalyst. It's 63 cash cow copywriting tips for you to read in 90 seconds or less each tip. So that way you can get a ton of copywriting free value to help you start charging more for your copy today. It's free. All you got to do is hit the link in the description below, put in your email, and tell me where to send it so that way I can get it over to you today. I appreciate it. I hope that's really helpful for you. Now, let's dive right into the video. Here's the real difference between $500 copywriting and $5,000 copywriting. Here on my wrist, I have a SEIKO watch, and this watch cost me about almost $1,000. It's not the most expensive watch in the world. It's also not the cheapest watch in the world. But a watch that I'm about to buy is a ROLEX Datejust, which costs about $10,000. So what's the difference between my $1,000 watch and a $10,000 Rolex? Well, they both do the same thing, right? They tell time. They're both pretty high quality pieces, right? It would be hard to tell the difference if I took the names off of both of them. So what is the difference? Well, in that case scenario, you're probably saying, well, one of them's a SEIKO and the other one's a Rolex. Exactly. The difference is the status of the SEIKO versus the Rolex. When you wear a Rolex, you have more status. And so a Rolex is able to demand more money because of its status. Status has a price tag, and as a copywriter, I'm going to help you get that price tag of status by increasing your status. Now, this is assuming that you're actually a pretty good copywriter, right? Like you can go get your clients some good results, but you still feel like you're not able to charge enough. Well, status is the difference between why you're getting your clients great results, but you can't charge enough, but people like Dan Kennedy and John Carlton, Daniel Throssell, Ben Settle, Gary Bencivenga, and these guys can charge thousands of dollars for their copywriting before even writing a single word. It all boils down to their status. And I'm about to give you 5 super simple tips to help you increase your status as a copywriter today so you could start charging more tomorrow. Starting with status tip number 1, increase your brand aesthetic. Your brand aesthetic are the little interactions that you make with either your customers or your clients. So like if you're writing for yourself and your own personal brand, you would have customers, but if you're writing for clients, you would have clients. Either way, your brand aesthetic matters. Things like your profile picture, the headshots that you put in there, your banners, the look of the proposals that you send, the portfolio that you send, your website, the domain that you send it from, all of those things add up to your brand perception, how people perceive you when they interact with you. So I'm gonna show you how to juice up those things right now. Like for your profile picture on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on your Gmail, when you send emails, I personally hired a professional photographer to take professional studio headshots of me. This cost me a couple $100 and I've been using those pictures for years and I use them everywhere. I use them in my portfolio, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Instagram, Gmail, all that stuff. So a couple $100 well spent. If you can't spend a couple $100 doing this, I would highly recommend getting a really nice iPhone, Google Pixel, whatever it is, putting it on portrait mode, taking an excellent portrait in great lighting, natural lighting outside would be the best, and then doing a decent job editing. This will take you 10-15 minutes to YouTube on how to edit a nice studio style photo or a nice photo outside, but it will increase your status and make you look like a professional because professionals get paid. A couple of other tips to help you is I would consider getting a nice website template on Squarespace or Card, and that way you can get professional designs without having to have a professional designer. And you can also use templates from Canva for your banner. So your LinkedIn banner, your Twitter banner, YouTube banner, you can go into Canva, type in Twitter banner, find all their templates, choose a template, maybe switch out the words, and bam, you now have a really highly professional design template. So your photos look good, your banners look good, your website looks good. You can also use Canva for your proposals. So when you send proposals over to clients, it's this beautiful proposal that you send. All those little touch points make it seem like you're chucking a truck, or if you're a professional business, and professional businesses get paid. My last tip here on aesthetics is getting a custom domain. When I send an email, I send it from @alindragu.com. That's my name. That's a professional domain. It's custom. You could go to godaddy.com, buy a domain, preferably your name, and use that for your website and your email. It's significantly more professional than coming from @gmail.com, @yahoo.com. I mean, it costs you $10 and it really does legitimize you as a business. Status tip number 2 is increase your brand association. Brand association are things like, who have you worked with before? I could say certain things like, I've worked with brands like Amex, TMG Guitar Co., Procter & Gamble, CrossFit, Hopewell Farms, and a whole bunch of other brands. Now, I know what you're thinking is, Alin, I haven't worked with any big name brands like that. That's okay. This is where free work comes into play, because when you do free work, it's important just to get a list of brands, even if they don't know who they are. Yes, high profile brands are better if you could say names like Amex and Procter & Gamble. But even just having a list of 5 to 10 companies, organizations, or whatever that you've worked with is still good brand association. So if you go work with some local coffee shops, you could say 9 East Coffee, I've worked with these guys, or whatever. Like, just getting some brand association will automatically increase your status, because those people don't know who they are, and they could just say, wow, they've worked with a lot of cool companies. And that work signifies experience. That experience means you can charge more for what you do. Status tip number 3 is increase your testimonials. There are 2 types of testimonials. There's low profile testimonials and there's high profile testimonials. Low profile testimonials means the people that you are selling to likely don't know who those people are. So if you go to my website, alindragu.com, you'll scroll and you'll see there's a bunch of testimonials. Well, a lot of them are low profile and some of them are high profile. I tend to separate those out. The low profile ones, you really want to go for quantity. You want to get as many as possible. I've had over 200 people review my daily email newsletter. So when you scroll on it, you'll see, whoa, that's a lot of people reviewing it. Not all of them are high profile though. I've got about 30 high profile people on my list. People you would know, like Daniel Throssell, Eddie Kwan, Kieran Drew, Tom Benny. The difference between those is, when I write to copywriters and they see some of those big high profile names on my list, that is a testimonial that means a lot more. So the more you could get high profile testimonials, even if it's just a few, those increase your status like crazy, because what you're doing is you're borrowing authority from somebody else and they're basically co-signing what you do, whether it's email copy or meta copy. I use a service like Senja.io to collect all my testimonials, and I even have a request in my welcome sequence, so it's automated, that after they've received a few emails from me, it then automatically sends them an email that says, hey, if you've enjoyed the value that I've sent you, consider giving us a testimonial, or consider giving me a testimonial. And that way I collect testimonials on demand. Status tip number 4 is luxury looks. Okay, I gave you the Rolex example in the beginning, but that's a very real example, because when you wear a nice watch, or you wear nice clothes, nice leather boots, you wear a clean, simple fitted shirt, you're in shape, you clearly work out. Those things are visual human signals that tell somebody else that you take yourself seriously. I saw a YouTube clip one time where some guy said, I dress nice because people will only respect you as much as you respect yourself. And dressing is a form of respecting yourself, and that commands more dollars. I know this sounds vain and some people really want to look over this, but I promise you it's worth your time. Yes, I know not everybody here is going to have the money to go buy a cashmere sweater or to put a Rolex on their wrist, but dressing cleanly and simply and luxuriously can also be affordable. Back when I wasn't making a ton of money, I bought really nice minimal clothes from H&M. Clean, simple clothes, muted colors. Get yourself a nice, decent watch. SEIKOs are great. You could get one for a couple $100s. Don't wear an Apple Watch. Wear a real watch. Wear real glasses. Wear a nice sweater, a nice jacket. All of this really matters, because what you're portraying is, hey, I'm good at what I do. I make money. I'm currently making money. And for whatever reason, humans are attracted to giving more money to people who are already making money. It establishes a trust where they say, well, they're making this money. It must be because they're good. In fact, I already know that some of you follow gurus, not because they're good copywriters, but because it looks like they make a lot of money. That's how ingrained this is into who we are as humans. Moving on to the last status tip. Status tip number 5 is use fat numbers. I mentioned it a little bit before with the testimonials, but the more that you can use measurable numbers in your credibility, the higher perceived value and status you have. Let me give you some examples. Things like if I said I have 200 testimonials, that's a lot of testimonials. I could also say, I wrote 10 million words in email copywriting. Whoa, that's a lot of words, right? That's not the most portrayed status because not all customers care about that, but it's still something. It's still some kind of credit. You could say you made your clients $1 million in sales or $10 million in sales. That's measurable. That's something they care about. Other things like you have 5,000 email subscribers or you have 10,000 YouTube followers. You've worked with 20 brands. You've sent 1,000 emails for clients. There's a bunch of different ways that you could do this. Now, yes, this takes some work, but the good thing is this is free. You can rack up these numbers for free, right? You could go build a YouTube channel for free. You can grow your Twitter account for free. You can write emails every day to your own audience for free. You can work with a bunch of local brands for free. This is the easiest and most simple way to increase your status alongside luxury looks, right? You could spend $100, get some decent outfits. Between that and putting in the hard work, you've immediately increased your status with the people around you. And so you could demand to charge more. Now, that's just 5 very simple status tips for you to use. The best thing that you could do is what I like to call status stacking, okay? Status stacking is when you take all of these things and stack them together to create a cohesive, powerful status brand. So when you look at my brand, you go to my website, you'll notice that everything is designed beautifully. I'm constantly showing you my testimonials. I constantly pump out big fat numbers. I wear very nice clothes on my profile picture. I wear them in my YouTube videos. I wear them on my client calls. I have high profile testimonials, low profile testimonials, and I'm constantly name dropping brand association of organizations and companies that I've personally worked with. I have them all over the place. And what this does is overall, it increases your perceived status. And so that's the real difference between $500 copy and $5,000 copy. Am I 10 times better the copywriter I was when I was just charging $500? Probably not, but I definitely have 10 times the status, and that's what helps you command the dollar. So I hope this video was helpful for you. And if it was, I ask you, would you please hit the like and the subscribe button? It tells me that you want more free content just like this. And if you're not already on my email list, go ahead and go to alandragu.com, hop on my email list, and read my daily email copywriters read by over 2,000 copywriters just like you. Thank you again so much for watching the video. Leave a comment down below and let me know what video should I make next. I'd love to know what you want me to make and how I can help you as a copywriter succeed. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll chat with you soon.